Ancient Egypt lasted longer than most people realize. While the Roman Empire collapsed after 5 centuries and the United States hasn't even reached 250 years, Egyptian civilization endured for over 3,000 years. The pyramids were already ancient ruins when Cleopatra walked the earth. This extraordinary timeline reveals something profound about how geography can shape an entire civilization's destiny. The secret to Egypt's longevity was the Nile River. Unlike other ancient civilizations that struggled with unpredictable floods and droughts, Egypt enjoyed remarkable stability. Every year, the Nile flooded with perfect timing, depositing nutrient-rich silt across the floodplains. This created a narrow strip of fertile land cutting through an otherwise barren desert. The predictability of this cycle allowed Egyptians to develop sophisticated agriculture and accumulate surplus wealth, which became the foundation of their complex society. Around 2686 BCE, the Old Kingdom emerged as Egypt's first golden age. This era gave birth to the pyramids, those massive monuments that still dominate the landscape at Giza. The construction of these structures required unprecedented organization and labor coordination. Contrary to popular belief, slaves didn't build the pyramids. Skilled workers and farmers during the flood season constructed these tombs, demonstrating the state's ability to mobilize its population for monumental projects. The pharaohs weren't merely kings, they were considered living gods, divine intermediaries between the mortal world and the cosmic order. This belief system justified their absolute authority and made resistance virtually unthinkable. The pharaoh's role extended beyond governance to maintaining ma'at, the concept of cosmic balance and justice. When the pharaoh succeeded, the Nile flooded properly, crops grew abundantly, and chaos was kept at bay. Around 2181 BCE, the Old Kingdom crumbled. The first intermediate period brought chaos as central authority dissolved and regional governors seized power. Climate change may have played a role, with reduced Nile floods causing famine and social unrest. This collapse demonstrated that even the most stable civilizations remain vulnerable to environmental and political pressures. Egypt fragmented into competing territories, and the age of the Great Pyramids ended. By 2055 BCE, Egypt reunified under the Middle Kingdom. This period emphasized different values than the Old Kingdom. Rather than building massive pyramids, pharaohs focused on irrigation projects, expanding trade networks, and developing literature. The Middle Kingdom produced some of Egypt's greatest literary works and saw the democratization of afterlife beliefs. No longer was eternal life reserved exclusively for pharaohs. Now ordinary Egyptians could aspire to immortality through proper burial practices. The second intermediate period brought foreign domination. The Hyksos, mysterious invaders from the east, conquered northern Egypt around 1650 BCE. They introduced new military technology, including the horse-drawn chariot and composite bow. This occupation was humiliating for Egyptians but ultimately transformative. When native rulers eventually expelled the Hyksos, they had learned valuable military lessons that would fuel Egypt's greatest imperial expansion. The New Kingdom, beginning around 1550 BCE, transformed Egypt into an aggressive imperial power. Pharaohs like Thutmose III and Ramesses II expanded Egyptian territory deep into Nubia and the Near East. This era produced legendary rulers including Hatshepsut, one of history's most successful female pharaohs, and Akhenaten, whose religious revolution briefly upended Egyptian theology. The wealth flowing into Egypt during this period was staggering, funding massive temple complexes at Karnak and Luxor. Egyptian obsession with the afterlife drove the development of mummification. The process evolved from simple burials in hot sand to elaborate procedures involving removal of internal organs, desiccation with natron salt, and wrapping in hundreds of yards of linen. This practice reflected Egyptian beliefs about the soul's journey after death. The body needed to be preserved because the ka, one component of the soul, required a physical home to return to. Without proper mummification, eternal life remained impossible. King Tutankhamun became history's most famous pharaoh despite being relatively insignificant during his lifetime. He died young, ruled briefly, and accomplished little of lasting importance. His fame stems entirely from his tomb's discovery in 1922, found nearly intact when Howard Carter broke through the sealed doorway. The treasures inside captured global imagination, but they also revealed something crucial. If a minor pharaoh possessed such wealth, the truly great pharaohs must have been buried with unimaginable riches, all lost to ancient tomb robbers. Ancient Egypt's 3,000-year journey from the Old Kingdom through the New Kingdom reveals how geography, religion, and political organization can sustain a civilization across millennia. The Nile's gift of predictable abundance created stability, while the concept of divine kingship provided ideological cohesion. Subscribe to explore more ancient civilizations and discover what made them rise and fall.